Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So the issue we have now is that our images do not show when we get back here to the edit part when we want to edit them. But if you look at the actual page, the images do exist. So they're not gone. Something is weird. So what we're going to do is just go to the code section here and see what's going on. So I'm going to click here. And we know that we have image tags in here. There it is. And there's a source over here. So it looks like what is happening is that the root path is not being added here. I think that's the issue we have because we're using our htaccess file and it's trying to find these files within the folder of the URL, excuse me, the URL here. But those are folders that do not exist, so we need to put root here, just like we do on the website itself. Here, the reason these guys are showing is because root exists on the source. Or does it? Wait a minute, it doesn't. So how does this... Oh yeah, the reason they work is because there's only one folder here. So it assumes they're in this folder, which is correct. But if I were to do a slash like this, slash, and then put some just arbitrary number or random number here, the images will disappear. As you can see here, they are gone, right? And they shouldn't. And the reason why is because root is not being added to these images. So normally when we put image tags like this, intentionally, we always put root because this one is showing without a problem. And the reason is because every image has root in there. So it starts with HTTP, blah, 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 etc. While the other ones just start with plugin slash. So easy peasy, let's make a function that will do this for us. This will be a public function because we will access it from outside the class, just like we are doing this previous function right here. So this one will be public function, and we'll just call it add root to images, right? Yeah, these file names may look, function names may look funny, but it's actually good to name them like this because they're very specific. You know exactly what they do. It's always better to have these weird long names that are readable so that next time you try to fix your project, you easily know what they are than those short names that don't really mean anything. Okay, add root to images. Cool. Actually, extract images, content, add root. It can actually just work if we say add root because these functions are within a class. We already know what this class is for. You can put an explanation at the top there for future reference. So add root. Yeah, maybe just add root. Will do just fine. Okay, for now. Since this is in a class. Add root to images would make sense if it's just a standalone function, because if somebody comes and finds a function that's on its own and it just says add root, it's very difficult to know what this is. But add root to images, that gives more context. But in this case, it's inside a class of functions that are doing a very specific thing, so you can use shorter names. Okay, so at the end of the day, we still want to return content, the content that was supplied, but in the middle we will do some stuff to it. So we're just going to add root to all the images. So what I want to do, this should be simple. We just do a preg replace. So I'm going to say preg replace. Yeah, preg replace. So we want to replace everything that says source is equal to, alright, source is equal to. Now, the problem with doing a think we need one that let's see here. Let's do an example, because sometimes it's let me do image. It's good to test your regex. You see, regular expressions are very good, but they're the easiest thing to get wrong. Yeah, it's easy to make a regular expression that does what you want, but it does more than what you want, and you wouldn't even know it. So let's do some tests here. Right, so I want this and this here, where it says HTTP, and then over here I just want one that says plugins/something. Okay, I want to be able to select only the ones that do not have HTTP. Now I'm assuming, I don't know if I have to do this, but it's possible that an image may have HTTP in there, so we won't need to put root for some reason. So what I want to search for is source is equal to /that. But then it should be anything but HTTP. Okay. Does that work? Oh, because HTTP is not being considered one value here. So I don't know how to... This is tricky. This is where the limits of my my knowledge in regex actually ends. So let me see if I put a bracket around that. Oops. I wanted to put a bracket over here and a bracket over there. I don't know if that doesn't make it one item at all. The problem is when you put these curly braces. Oh wait, maybe if I don't put the curly braces, does that work? Apparently not. It doesn't either. Okay, so I have an issue here, but I don't know if this is an actual issue yet, so let's ignore it for now, because I'm thinking there will be another function that will be removing root from the content. So maybe by the time we're doing what we're trying to do now, there will be no root in there, so we can just do a global thingy. So let me get back here. Let me not overthink this for now. So I'm just gonna do that. Source is equal to. Now I just want to replace source is equal to with root. So replace this with exactly what we got from here. Like that. I don't need this slash. So let's replace that, but we add root to it, like so. Now root usually doesn't have a slash at the end, so let's put that slash, like so. Okay. And the subject is content. Sometimes it's best not to overthink things. And then return. So we're just replacing preg replace. Is there preg replace all or something? Okay, so add root. Good. So how do we use this? We use this when we're reading. So the editing is here. So we save, but when we read, this is reading from... Let me actually grab this. Just a second. Let me copy this. Save. So when we are reading this data, loading the data, I mean, so inside edit, for example, the edit view, let's go to plugin PHP here. Okay, cool. So everything is good, but when we are editing, this is where it is. Inside edit, not delete, just here is where we need that, not the controller but the view. So let's go to the view. This is the edit view. Okay, so if there's an ID, then we're editing or viewing, right? So we get that page, but what I want to do is this right here, paste, content is that, and then what I'm going to do is from row, content, like this. Okay. Instead of extracting images, let's say add root. Okay, and then row again, content, like that. So we add root, we remove that. So let's see if that actually helps, especially here. So here I'm just going to refresh. I'm not going to change this. That didn't seem to work at all. So let's inspect and see what the issue is. Source is equal to. No, that didn't happen. Okay. Okay. Why that not happen at all? Add root. Let's go back here. Oh, sorry. We need to capture the result. Sorry about that. So it's going to be like this. Content is equal to, and then replace. Okay. Because here, if we're not doing that, we are replacing here, but we're just getting this and passing it back here. But if we modify it here, then it should work. So refresh. So things didn't seem to work either. What is the problem? Plugins, blah, blah, blah. So, preg replace source. This is weird. What if I just replace like this with emptiness? Let's see. Does that work? It doesn't work either. So what's going on? Something is weird here. I'm wondering why this isn't. Let's see, image source is equal to, this is the only source. I'm just replacing that front part with root. So it should actually work just fine. What is? Okay. Let me see. Maybe I'm missing something. How does preg replace look like? The subject, the replacement, the pattern. Okay, that seems about right. Maybe string replace. Let's try this with string replace. I don't know. Okay. Let's search for this. And let's replace with this. And what's the subject? Content. Like that. Okay. Maybe simpler is better. Let's try again. No, doesn't seem like it's working. Okay, maybe this is not running where I want it to run. So let's go back to plugin.php and let me just make sure it is running here. We'll just say echo here. I just want to know that we are getting to this point. Row content is good. It should. Wait a minute. Oh, Oh, this is the front end. Sorry about that. I'm just barking at the wrong tree here. Sorry about that. Oh goodness, you know, it just shows that I'm tired, I think. So let me undo this. This should work fine. Alright. So I'm barking up the wrong tree here. I'm supposed to do this in the in this here. So there it is. It has actually worked. Sorry about that, guys. But it's working here. So if I go back and just do the view, and you will see this is the right one. The other view is the front end, so I should put that there as well. So let me come back to plugin here and copy this part. Let me go to the front end view, which is this one. Wait, no, that's still admin. Wait a second. Wait. Okay, so that's main content. We want to see the view version. After query, no. Where is the view, this controller? Wait a second. What is going... Oh, there it is. Ugh, brother. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that here. So I added curly braces here because it's no longer just one line on this if statement. So that should do the trick for the front end as well. Let me refresh, and there it is. So we have root there, and that's nice. Unfortunately, this means if we do save, if I click edit and I go to the code and do this, you'll see that in the images it starts with HTTP blah 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 and then the actual file path. So the problem with this is if I save this as it is and then try to display it, it's going to add another HTTP and so on, and then when I save again it will add, so it will keep adding root and root and root, which is not nice. So what we need to do is remove root every time we save from this content here. Okay, so that's easy to do. We just go here, wherever there is add root, we say remove root as well. So let's do remove root. And so we're going to do the very opposite of what we did here. So in essence, we now replace root with nothing. So I'm going to duplicate this just so I don't lose this stuff. Here we don't really need a preg replace. We can use string replace. I think I have more. String replace is better here. So we look for this and we replace it with emptiness inside content like that. So let's do that. At least this is not a regular expression, this is just a good old string. So to replace wherever it finds source and root, actually it can't replace with emptiness, it has to put back source like that. So source and root will be replaced with a source. So good. Now, which means when we edit, which is the edit controller here, before we extract, let's see, extract images, right? Yeah, this is going to present a bit of a problem here. So when we're extracting images now, the problem is the images may not be base 64. Some of them may be actual images, because now remember that with these images here already there, these do not have that base 64 data. I can add extra images that have base 64, and those are the ones I want to extract, not these that have root in them, right? So what I should do is be clever about this. So I'm going to go back to content, but before we do that, let me go to the same edit. Just after we do this, I want us again to remove root from images, right? So we extract the new images and then we remove root from those that have root, and then we are good. But when extracting, we have to avoid those that have root already, and we know they have root because they will have HTTP in them. So at this point, when we grab the source here, Okay. For each image tag, right? So right there where we are looping through, we can just check, right? If string like this, if we have something that says source is equal to, and then HTTP. So if there's HTTP in there, if the source is equal to HTTP like that, because we don't know if it could be HTTPS, HTTP, any of those above, we should continue like this. What continue means is that ignore this iteration here. So go to the next one. It just means go to the next one, I guess. So if source has HTTP, right? Wait, is that correct? The haystack and the needle. Yeah, so I swapped those two. Sorry about that. So these should swap. This one should go here. The haystack is the thing that contains what you're looking for. So if in string there is this, then ignore that one. Okay. Okay, good. And then we can save and then remove HTTP. So let's see if those things are working well. So we are in the edit here, and I want to add one extra image at the end here. So let me do that. I'm going to click here on image, browse, and let's add this house here. Okay, so this one I'll put it 50%, and let's hit save. Okay, so the record was saved according to this. Let's check it out. If I refresh, these are still good. They're still showing as they're supposed to. And we have an extra image there. Very cool. And if I click edit, they are all here, as you can expect. And which means everything is working fine, because it means these guys have a root, and we are not adding on top of each root. We're doing a good job. Now you may think at this point, oh, we must have covered every situation. No, unfortunately, there's one more situation where things are gonna get messed up. And that situation is where if I delete an image from here, so when I click here and remove this image, the problem is that the image will remain on file, right, on the hard drive. Now I want to be able, if somebody removes the image from their content, I want to delete it from my hard drive as well, because we don't need it anymore. It's not going to show up anywhere. We can save space that way. So we're going to make another function that will do that for us in the next video.